Hello, travelers, and welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads. We are going to be doing a one-shot today because we don't want to continue on in the Rune Lords campaign without Greg there, because this is kind of a climactic thing, and stuff's going to go down, and bad guys are either going to fall or they're going to kill the good guys, so stuff could go sideways real quick. So hopefully this will give us enough time to get Greg back for next week.
We need his magic crits.
Yeah, need his magic crits and his paladin powers to help against the undead. This time, however, we are going to be going into, again, the realm of Kelagoth, which is the realm of the 9 guilds. We're coming back there, and it is where we did our... we called it the 9 guilds game when we were playing as kind of a fill-in type thing, trying to get everybody worked around when we first had our new people. We're coming back there because we can shoot one-shots here pretty easy. And that's what we're doing this time. We're doing a one-shot where the players are technically going to be kind of NPCs in a town that have a couple class levels. They're level 4 characters, technically, but 2 of those levels are in a NPC class. So they're villagers in this town, but they're villagers that have had some experience, been doing some things. One of them is the bar owner. He owns the bar and the barkeep, and he keeps things going on all that, but we'll let people introduce characters in a minute. It's going to be taking place in at the edge of Westwood in Kelagoth, which has a few mountainous regions just behind it, and hopefully they'll be able to save the town. Now, they don't know what's going to happen or anything like that. They don't know how epic or unepic it's going to be, so we're just going to have to see how they handle it. So let's go ahead and introduce characters. Let's start from my left, going to my right, as I see them on my Google live chat. Colin, you're first.
All right, I am playing Jean Eric, the human cleric slash adept, local priest and healer in the town.
All right. And who's your god?
Oh,
Deity.
Saren Ray. That's kind of important to know, right?
It does determine things, especially since you got a Paylor on your shield. We already gave you some flack for that earlier. But this is a one-shot, so we'll let it slide. All right. So, Kane, who are you playing?
Oh, well, my name is Hitsu, and I moved to... Wait, what's the name of this town again?
Milcian.
Milcian. I moved to Milcian about 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I moved to Milcian, and I work at the Oi, boss, what's the name of the pub again?
Yep. We'll call it the Dancing Dragon. The Dancing Dragon.
No, I work at the Dancing Dragon. I'm the doorman at the Dancing Dragon. You know, I'll make sure that people who shouldn't be going through the door don't go through the door, and then people who shouldn't have gone in the door because they got... I'll keep the order at the Dancing Dragon.
All right.
I am a force of justice. Dancing Dragon justice.
There we go. This ought to be fun. All right. Alex, you're next on my little lineup.
I have an intelligence of 13.
I'm playing Brandon Becker, the Ifrit gunslinger slash fighter slash expert.
Boy, you're fancy.
Yeah.
There's like 3 classes in these 4 levels. All right. And what is your part in town? Are you just passing through this time, or are you been here a while?
No, he's been here a while. He doesn't conduct that much business. He just keeps himself afloat as the local alchemist, like tinkerer, engineer. There's not a whole lot of business
Okay.
coming his way, but enough to keep him afloat.
I was somewhat deceived by what he was going to be playing because he's got a red knight from Dark Souls 3 as his picture, and I'm like, that looks pretty cool. But hey, I mean, yeah.
It's more like a knight with a gun.
So, well, we will
He's,
see how it goes.
He's what my father used to call her a munchkin. He's one of them there
Okay.
munchkins.
Everything's smaller than you are, though, so everything looks semi-munchkin-y to you, including the last person, which is going to be our dwarf barkeep. Tell us about the dwarf barkeep, Mal.
The name is Sirvzu. I am the beer swilling, chair filling proprietor of the Dancing Dragon. In a place that doesn't get a lot of traffic like old Milcian, this is where all the traffic ends up. And when it comes through my place, you always know there's a bed to rest your head and a friendly ear to take some words. Plus, I like to gather as much work as I can on the side for any adventurers who might be going. But I've got a reputation. Nothing gets by my eye, and no lie passes my ears. My head is like a steel trap, and my brain is like a wizard-level lie detector. So don't you go trying to swizzle me out of my money, or I'll contact my buddy Hits You, and we'll take you back for a real rapid go. But otherwise, I'm mostly just having fun.
All right. Okay, then. So those are our players and the characters that they are using. So let me see.
I've never been a dwarf. This is the first time.
It's fun.
It is. So a little backstory for both the viewers and the players, because the players are coming into this about as blind as the viewers. We are going to be in, like we said, Milcian. Milcian is a town near Westwood, and it is north of Ox Rock, where the past bit of story has taken place in this area. It was a town that was originally founded by some farmers and stuff. Started to get a bit more known for its dairy quality rather than its plants. And for some reason, the salt, not the salts, but the minerals that drift in off the harsh wave, they discovered a few, we'll say maybe close to a century later, was really good for growing strawberries. So up until this point, it is, we're coming in at a point when it is starting to become known for its strawberries as well. So they are going to be participating in this first act of the game in the third annual Strawberry and Cream Festival in the town. So that's where we're going to come in on. And we're going to kind of mosey in to the Dancing Dragon. And as we open the door, we see nice wooden floors. And how would Sirvzu dress up and get his bar looking?
It's going to be, fairly straightforward. I mean, we're a decent town, but we're not exactly a bustling municipality. So mostly, nice wooden floors, probably a bit of hay scattered about to gather up any drippings of beer or anything of the like. He tries to draw everyone's attention up to his bar, where he's got this long red velvet tablecloth that really classes up the joint over the bar. He's quite protective of his tablecloth, but not so much so that he doesn't put down a pint of some reddish-looking beer and say, "Try our strawberry lager, it's low calories."
For
All right.
For the weight-conscious medieval consumer.
Yeah. It's just awful. It just tastes like normal beer. It's sweet.
It's just normal beer that you've ground a strawberry up into.
They got like floaties in it.
So that's
I call it
that's the type of establishment. That's the type of establishment that Sirvzu is running. And yeah, as you guys are actually all there. This is kind of the happening place to be. Sirvzu does good business here. Takes a bit more of investment. We're going to say that he hasn't been here for the whole time that Milcian has been here, because that would be a bit odd for him to be a dwarf out that long that is running a pub in a human settlement, at least in this particular area. But he has been here for a while, and he's been making friends, and he's had a really good run here. There's a good mix of people. Yeah. There's a good mix of people. You get, there are a few drinks that he has that draw in the more classy crowd, especially as you have more people here for the Strawberry Cream Festival that is going on. And he makes sure to keep the cream cool inside the well in the kitchen that he's actually got in his kitchen. So makes a big difference for keeping all those beverages nice and chilled. And he's he's the only bar in this area that does such a thing. And his little tavern has been working out well. So you guys see the mayor's here. Mayor Barry, they literally changed their name to reflect the newness of the crops and the popularity that has been coming in. He literally changed his name to Barry for it. So Mayor Barry. And you guys know him. He's kind of a putz, but he's your mayor and you love him type thing. You
Our
know?
whole town has a great eye for branding.
Yeah. Really, no one's been complaining about the amount of success that this new venture has gotten for the town. You see, old lady Tilly, I believe I named her. Let me make sure. Yes, old lady Tilly. She's a human that likes to bring her cat in with her, and though the dog Archon cook sneers a little bit at the cat, the cat is welcome inside the bar, as far as we know, unless someone would like to kick them out. Let me see. Brand has come here quite a bit to get some good contacts. This is a great way to mingle, so that's probably why he's here. And of course, it would only do that the cleric could get to loosen up a little bit while the festivities happen. He actually has some associates that are keeping track outside. The roads are still, of course, dirt, though there is some cobblestone that has been worked towards the town square. So that has been a new thing that's been going on. And the farmlands outside make it very picturesque. There's even a setup out there where there's a little bitty carnival going, and all of those things are happening that you would love to see in a nice country festival. They've got dancing lights going in little strings. It's like they can move back and forth in a little marching line, stretching from one building to another occasionally. And it's a really nice atmosphere. So is there anything that you guys would like to do during this period?
Well, our hit is leaning up against the door frame of the dancing dragon, and he's got himself from the first year. This is the third year he's worn it. He's got a T-shirt that says "I Heart Berry" on it, and then it's like a picture of the mayor's face. It's a very
Like a whole tavern.
Yeah, it was really expensive because it's difficult to get that much detail on a shirt when you have to hand sew it. So I took real good care of it, and I've had it for 3 years, and it still looks real good.
Barry is very pleased with how well you've taken care of it.
Well, hot Barry. But I don't know when I get off work, I gotta keep Stanzi out of the pub. He's still banned, after he broke all that glassware. I gotta make sure Bradavarius, the cook, doesn't start trouble with the cat lady.
Naming people, now I gotta write it down. Bradavarius.
Bradavarius, it seems like a good name for like a minor angel.
Okay.
It was that or Nebuchadnezzar.
Marvelous. Macaronius. They're great NPCs, I guess what I was trying to say.
All right.
I've already got like 20 interchangeable things that I can say.
So
Be wary, Robin.
you're looking
North
out for
Edge,
that.
right?
You're looking for that. And let me see. Brand, what are you doing? Are you indulging in these different alchemical concoctions that are of an alcoholic nature?
Oh, certainly.
And what about our cleric? Is he imbibing as well? Ain't nothing in
He's
Serenade that
probably
says
off
he can't.
doing. You know, he could, but he'd rather not. It's not becoming of the church to lose one's wit too much. So instead, what he is doing is running some community service projects, mending the clothes of different peasants in town, all for free, of course.
Oh,
You
it's very
Yes,
nice
you
of
might
him.
get my tavern, but you're gonna need to order a damn salad.
How about some bread? Will that do?
Right? Some getting bread.
There's a cover charge, dang it.
The cover charge is at least one plate of food.
Yeah, that's a fair cover charge. Make money that way.
How much?
It's a 1 plate minimum.
How much would it cost to provide just a basic meal for people who are coming into the tavern, for every one of them who comes in?
No, probably.
Well,
like
if you throw a couple gold down, you're going to cover a good amount of people for the night.
Yeah, it's what, like a. It's probably like 5 copper pieces for a simple meal.
I'm an honest businessman, but I am a shrewd one.
Okay, he'll be nice, and just because he can, throw down a platinum.
All right.
Who the fuck?
You got a platinum.
Guys,
Is this holy man throwing around his electrum pieces? You've been taken out of the collection plate.
We just gotta keep an eye on him. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my eagle eye from the bar.
All right.
He got real paranoid about carrying capacity ever since Emeralda. Now he converts all of his change into the highest denomination available.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how you get drunk.
That's how you get robbed. That's what happens. Mayor Barry has definitely been enjoying his drinks quite a bit. You see that his assistant, who you guys know kind of runs the city in the background, is being much more responsible with his imbibes. But Barry wanders over to Brand and he bumps him accidentally. He says, "Oh, pardon me, Brand. But, I was wanting to talk to you, Brand. Your Brand, aren't you?"
Oh, really? What do you want?
And he looks around at this very crowded place, and then he scoots you over a little bit towards the wall. It's still equally as crowded, but he does it anyway. And he says, "I have just been having. I'm curious about. I'm curious about the capabilities of your
I mean, the tavern's really not the place to proposition someone, but
of your craft, I suppose. Of your craft. You put the magical essences inside the potions, do you not?
Sure. Let's call it that.
he wants you to put your magic essence in him.
I have a situation that I'm hoping you can help me with. I'm hoping that you can help me with. I need. My wife doesn't like. I need a little. Do you have anything that has selective properties? You know where just certain areas are. I've heard of the enlarging abilities of certain magical spells and potions, but I'm wait, you're making me laugh.
There was 50-50. I knew we were going into this. This is either about penis pills or butt sex, and I couldn't figure out what.
I assumed love potion.
Be quiet, you're making me laugh while I'm trying to role play.
Sorry, continue granting the quest.
Could you help me with a potion, just selective enlargement, you know? I'm not talking about, the size of a giant, maybe just a creature, that's larger than myself, And you see that the assistant is starting to look around for his mare and is starting to catch wind of where he is.
Yeah, I can cook you up something.
All right, you're so great. You're just so great, Brian.
Your wife is gonna like it. It's gonna be great.
Oh, excellent. Now, if you do find something, could you make some for her for certain, what I'm saying? I'm just asking. His ward gets there, and he's like, come on, sir. We need to get back to the festivities. And oh yeah, goodbye, Brand. Just let me know. It's right letter or something. And he leaves you to your time to mull over what he has requested.
I need a strong one.
All right.
You know how to make a mind eraser?
Yeah, you're pretty sure he won't remember the conversation tomorrow either.
But he still might pay you.
Yeah.
All right. So that is kind of an interaction with that. Let me see. Grandma Tilly comes up to she comes up to Hit. Do you want to be called Hit or do you want to be called You? We should call you You. She says, hey, you.
Hits or you? Mr. You.
Oh, sorry. I forgot the mic was off again. Hits. I prefer hits.
Oh. Well, Grandma Tilly comes up. Oh, Mr. You. Mr. You.
Hello, Miss Tilly.
Oh, hello, dear. I wanted to let you know that I almost forgot to give you your... Where is it? Oh, there it is. She reaches down, and you smell a familiar smell. And you hear a familiar crumpling of brown paper. And
Miss Tilly, I don't want another
she
cat.
pulls out... No, not a cat, dear, not a cat. Look here. And she pulls out and she opens up her little baggie that she has for you, and it is filled to the brim with her special cookies.
Oh, Miss Tilly.
What a sweet town.
And of course, Hits is like a little over 6.5 feet tall. He's just ginormous. He picks up this tiny little old lady and gives her a big hug.
I love Mrs. Tilly's cookies.
Oh, we love you too, dear. You're joking, Miss Tilly.
He puts her down.
All right. You see her cat, Dom, D-O-M, Dom, kind of hop out of the bag too and go, and it kind of weaves its figure 8 as it jumps out of the bag. It weaves its figure 8 around your legs and then trots outside. Oh, Dom, you stay out of the street. And she starts toddling after him.
Better out there than causing trouble with Barrett.
Oh, bugger, I've forgotten his name.
You make names and you don't remember them. I see how it is. It's what happens when you're the GM. Radivarius.
It's a one shot. I don't have to remember things.
All right. So that all goes on. Anything else you guys would like to do?
continue proprieting, making friends, chatting up the locals, you know. Who's all excited for the festival.
All right. Well, the festival has been going well.
Oh,
Um,
very
It has been going well. Mending of clothes has been going excellent. You've been getting even some contributions from people saying they know that it's not the time, but they thank you. And some traveling priests have come in. They're more acolytes. They don't have any super special training,
Stancy.
but they've been thanking you also for your work with the local group and have been informing you about other things going on within the Kelagothian Empire and its network of satellite church establishments. And all of a sudden outside you hear a and you hear the wheels of a wagon going really fast, and then a loud neighing as you can picture in your head, your characters picture in their head. So it's like, imagination-ception. They picture in their head a rearing back of a horse, and you hear, no!
Well, Hits is right by the door, so
He just ran over the cat. Lords, no.
Brand will.
Oh no, darling Miss Tilly.
I vault the bar.
Everybody loves Miss Tilly and Dom. All right, so you vault the bar. You two go outside to look. Does anyone else go outside to look and see what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm coming up with a list of people who are banned from the Dancing Dragon and why they're banned.
Okay.
Surprise.
So you do that.
I've got to know these things
Okay.
when I'm bouncing.
Okay. You go outside, and as you do, you kind of come out and you see just not far from y'all, down the road a little bit, there's actually an overturned wagon, and you do not see Miss Tilly under the wagon. You see Miss Tilly crying beside the wagon, and she's just down there, and there are people, there are ladies coming quickly to her and some men coming quickly to her to check on her and everything. So something's gone on down there, and you see that it was probably, based upon the way it looks, George Grayson, who was driving, because it's his cart that's there. Do you want to go investigate, or do you want to do something else?
I will go and help. My shift's almost over
Okay.
anyway.
I will go and watch.
Your shift's not over.
Gene will be there to see if anybody needs healing.
Okay.
George Grayson, cart driver,
Indeed.
Cat
banned
and you
from
see-
the Dancing Dragon for running over Dom.
He was already banned from the Dancing Dragon for roughhousing and excessive drunkenness.
Him
Even
and his
for
brother
the
Bladder.
Dancing Dragon.
They're banned
Wagon.
for fighting.
So he actually does. You actually do see him get up from the other side, and you can tell that he's not just punch drunk from the events of what just happened. He's definitely inebriated for sure, and it smells. I mean, the waft of the wine gets to you even from way over there, Sirvzu, and you can tell that it's that cheap, super sweet, icky
oh, port. He's port drunk.
wine made from strawberries that are too ready, and yeah, you can smell it on him. And the next thing that you see as you come close is, without going into graphic detail, the poor little body of Dom, in not just one piece anymore, under the wheel with a little bit of viscera along some of the portions of his wagon.
So what happened? Did the wagon hit a big ass pothole, or did in her sorrow driven fury did Miss Tilly just knock this fucking cart over?
bugger was riding fast and he tried to cat swerve, but he ended up just cat drifting over a cat and then rolling.
Tokyo drifted over the cat? What?
I don't know. Sirvzu's going to give him hell, though. He's like, what are you doing driving when you're like that, wheeling around your wagon, you cat exploding bastard?
Oh, shut up, you short, fat dwarf. He says.
Call me short again. I tell you, I'm right at sack level, boy. Just go straight line. Go speed bang. I'll knock your pants off, bye.
He kind of covers like this. And he goes, I said, shut up. Your beer tastes horrible and your food's even worse. He said,
You should taste the rest of me.
You're gonna taste my world famous knuckle sandwich.
So, see this happening, and Miss Tilly's crying over there. And from what you're getting from people around, they're saying that Miss Tilly, she ran out there trying to get between the wagon and Dom so that Dom wouldn't get hit, and you know, Grayson was driving way too fast. That cart was going at least 20 miles an hour down that road.
Yeah, the horse at full gallop just hell to leather straight down the thoroughfare in the middle of town.
Pretty much.
What are you doing wagoning like that? What are you running from, you crazy bugger?
George, you're drunk again.
Oh, no. So, yeah.
If you're not drunk, then tell the time.
I'm not drunk.
Yeah, thank you.
That was pretty funny. So yeah, they're saying that Dom had run out into the street real quick, and that was coming so fast for him to stop, and he swerved, and he still hit Dom, and he had to swerve to miss Miss Tilly.
What a mess.
Well, I mean, it's upsetting, but it is just a cat.
Well, Miss Tilly's
Where's the
crying over
sheriff?
there, and he seems to be on his way from down farther. Unfortunately, before he gets there, Miss Tilly rears up and she says, "Now it's done. Now you'll see your folly and your crime. Red fruit has come, and now shall end your delicate lifeline. The burden falls to all, not just you and your kin, but this whole town must now bear the burden of your sin." And she stares away and starts stomping off.
I knew it. I called it. I knew Miss Tilly was a witch.
It's you. I think we just got cursed.
Yeah.
Well, she pointed the first part at Grayson, which when she got to the burden falls to all, she just gestured over everybody and focused back on Grayson when she was talking about the burden of his sin.
The
It
cat's
seems
definitely
like
dead,
there's-
right?
Yeah, no,
Stomping
that
away.
cat is in
Oh, the-
2 pieces.
Okay.
Well, I didn't say how many pieces, but there are pieces.
At
plural.
least 2 pieces. Some assembly acquired. I don't think it's right proper to blame the whole town because George is a fuck up.
Speak for yourself, you stupid half-breed orc.
Oh, you want to start
Child.
this conversation? You come over,
Oh,
come
come
here,
on.
George.
Come on.
Come here.
Come on. And then the sheriff is pretty close.
Oh,
And he says, well, I
Hitz
told
is
you he was
probably
coming.
like part of the sheriff's goon squad.
All right, so you can take a swing at him if you want. The sheriff is in full view. He's coming up.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do that.
He's even got his
I-
sidearm with him.
I'm in pursuit of justice. Justice.
Dragon. Dancing dragon justice.
Dancing dragon justice. Unarmed
All right.
strike.
Go ahead.
Will a 12 hit him? This unarmed drunk
Yeah,
man.
technically, he ain't wearing nothing, and he sure ain't in any shape to fight. So yeah, you can pop him right good.
8
With a
points
12.
of damage.
8 points of unarmed. So you're gonna whack, and he just goes and falls to the ground after spinning. His jaw kind of goes, and
All right. He
the
looks
sheriff
like he
comes up.
might-
No, wait a minute. What's going on here?
Well, you see, Sheriff,
We're supposed to be having a.
George was drunk again, and he drove his cart down here, held the leather, whipping the horses, fire in his eyes, and he just nearly ran Mrs. Tilly over with his wagon, split the cat straight in two. Look at it.
What? That streak down there is Dom?
Yes, was.
You gotta see him. He goes over and kicks him in the gut. Take him to jail. Now,
No, Sheriff, never hit a man when he's down.
I've been in your bar. You ain't fooling me.
Many a down
So-
drunk that's received a swift leather dwarven hoof.
Get out of my bar. No. So he goes into this spiel about, let's calm this down, people. We'll get this cleaned up. General authoritative duties that he has to do. And he says, now, where's Miss Tilly?
I will
You
let.
might not want to be talking to her. She was
Well, why
mad.
not?
No, she
Well,
let
I
out
would think so.
stream of this and that, all are going to pay and whatnot. I think she's pretty upset. Don't think there's any divines that'll be helping her out, but best not go to her door unless you're expecting a butter knife to the gullet. You want a pint?
Well, she is
Come on, Sheriff.
not
It's still a festival.
not while I'm working. I'll be by after my deputy takes over.
The rain will
But-
take care of the
Well, I'll probably have somebody pick it up and put it in a little box for her. She loved that cat. I don't rightly know when she got it, but she's had it forever. Poor thing. Must have been, I don't know, 10, 15 years old. He says, going off to himself. I'll be back at your bar after I'm off. Need a drink after tonight. And then he looks up at the roof. Says, boys, get off the roof. Don't you jump off there. And he starts tromping over there.
Like, how high is this roof?
2 stories at least. Yes, 2 stories. With a peak.
Sirvzu's heading back inside to make sure nobody's messing with his tablecloth.
Okay. So you go in and you find that one of the goblins that is visiting, that was supposed to be watched by the rest of his associates, is currently using it as a cape to parade around in and perform some strange play, you think. He's dug into his little satch bag he has with him and pulls out something that is too large for the satch bag. And it's a skull, and he says, in drunken goblin.
Get yourself off of my bar, you no weak thespian. I'm gonna give you a late working over. I'm gonna get my orc back in here. Give me 1 minute. You'll stay right there. I'm gonna be giving you one hit. Storms outside. Hits.
I was gonna say, it's gonna try and turn the wagon back over onto its wheels so that the sheriff's department can move it before he starts dragging George off towards the deputy's office.
Okay, so you do that. Strength check to do that. Were you doing anything with that, Colin?
I am
Doesn't work.
thinking Gene will probably help with packing up.
Okay, backing up the cat. You're saying? Trying to.
Yeah,
Okay. They
Give
do
it
get a
an
little box.
burial.
They get him a little box, and you make me a perception check. And let's see what goes on.
No, he can't. He can't lift the wagon. It's not
You
happening.
can't. That's all right. There's more people there to help, so eventually it does get back up, but you don't get to just manhandle it yourself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. However, carrying that
There
limp,
we go.
port-bellied man to the jail was very simple.
You said a perception check?
Yeah, you want to make sure to get everything, don't you? Be unfortunate.
I don't know if it was so much of a carry as he did drag him by one of his boots.
Oh yeah, you
All
get
right.
you get all the pieces. So you definitely are able to catch everything, and get it in the box. You say maybe some prayers over it,
Mhm.
and there you go. You're able to get that from Miss Tilly. All right. Has Brand been doing anything while this all was going on?
Mostly just observing it.
Doing his
Okay. Yeah, hanging back, chilling, sipping beer, making sure nobody got too crazy.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do then is cut to tomorrow, because nobody wanted to bug Miss Tilly. Well, we're going to cut to that later that night because no one wanted to bug Miss Tilly.
That's fair.
Um,
She seems pretty.
Yeah, not so soon after her grieving.
So you guys go ahead and get back around. It's late. Who stayed long enough for that? Happened around dusk time for the lights to be visible for everybody and stuff like that. Who stayed until probably 2, maybe 3 in the morning? 2 in the
Sirvzu
morning,
actually would have a little cot in.
Oh yeah, well it's your inn. You probably live there.
All right. So
Sorry, I didn't mean to
the
cut it
sheriff
off.
does come in. No. So you got your cot. The sheriff does come in around 1:30, 2 o'clock. He looks dead tired, but he does look like he needs a drink too. Doesn't say much. Comes in, hangs his hat up. He sets it on the bar beside him. Sits down, wiggles a bit, puts his strange-looking little revolver thing that you're familiar with because you've seen other people tinker. Sets it down. He goes, "Oh, these festivals will get bigger and more rowdy every year."
Well, at least it keeps you nice and busy and gets you nice and thirsty. Rest assured, I think your drink's covered by the wee cleric. I don't know if the cleric is still there, but he's just going to say the wee cleric, so you know which one he's talking about. But he's, yeah,
Okay.
you know, whatever you'd like. Take our load off, sheriff.
Oh, good. Give me one of your good ones, like you give to the fancy, smancy visitors we come in. If they're good, I don't know what you're selling.
Well, I got some fresh strawberry infused wines and some fresh strawberry infused beers, if you're not sick of the strawberry yet. Or I could just get you some proper nice stout. We got some imported dwarven stout I usually only keep for me and mine, but you've had a
It's the ghost of Dom.
Yeah.
Remember me. Meow.
All right. So you do. He gives you that, and he says he wants the stout. Who all is here, actually?
Hitz doesn't live at the bar.
Okay.
He's got his own place that isn't here.
Duly
He doesn't
noted.
want to live where he
You were
works.
late staying back for a drink. I mean, the sheriff only just got off. Do whatever you want. I mean, I'm not telling you to live your life. You're your own orc.
He says both in and out of character.
Gene is probably at the temple doing some cleaning.
Wow, that's diligence. 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yep. He'll be
All
going to
right,
bed
then
soon, though.
Okay. I assume Brand went ahead and went back to his workshop.
Yeah, you
Before
got better
1 or 2 in
things
the
to
morning?
do than stay at the inn.
Listen to it.
Hang
Listen
around
to an old drunk
visitors
sheriff.
all day.
All right. So, let me see. Sheriff just kind of stares at his stout for a bit, sips on it. Says, I don't know. It's been odd this year with everything, and that cat. I keep thinking back
Just will not shut up.
on when she got it. And I keep remembering her mama having a cat that looked just like it. And it was old then. Oh, well.
Maybe
Maybe
it was
it's
a
just
cat. I mean, we've seen weirder.
Uh,
At least I have.
a cat be 30 years old.
Maybe it wasn't a normal cat.
I don't know. Well, it's weird. Did she say anything odd? You guys said she was Had
Oi.
people mentioning she has some weird stuff.
She was slinging curses, this and that. Oh, you're gonna pay for it now. Oh, you and your whole town. Oh, I wouldn't worry.
That just doesn't sound like Miss Tilly's character.
Not at all. She was probably just sad about the cat.
Yeah, I guess you're right. All right, well, I gotta get back to the missus. I told her not to wait up for me, but she probably did anyway. Oh, I'll see you later, Sirvzu.
Walk safe.
Oh, you and the lot that was there, come by tomorrow and we'll try to get stories straight on what was said by Miss Tilly, just so we can keep an eye on her, make sure she doesn't do anything she'll regret about stuff. All right. He goes out the door. And we're going to take a break here. Take a quick break. Let everyone chill out for a moment or two. And we'll be back soon. Hit when you go home, you're tired and stuff like that. And your bag of cookies is empty. And sit down on your bed. And you see some black stuff on your cuff of your boot. And you're just like, oh, some dumb here. Next day rolls around, and there's not the sound of cats through the streets.
Hundreds of cats.
Eating all the strawberries.
That would be a cat's. I could have turned this into a cats over Uthar kind of adventure, but no, did not.
Apocalypse.
Decided against that. Revenge of Kitty Face, mixed Stuffins, Fluffles, the third. Part Deuce.
Part two.
Stanley
Sequel.
Ronan.
Electric Boogaloo.
All right. So, next day rolls around, and everybody's clearing out and stuff like that. Let me see. The day starts off fairly normal. Based upon the crowd you saw last night, you'd expect more people to be out, but it's kind of quiet. Still foggy this morning.
Oh, it's a little dour out. I wonder if it's the weather.
It says walking through the front door of
Taking
the
all
Dancing
the-
Dragon.
Taking all the upside down chairs off of all the tables.
All right. So, a little time goes on, and the fog starts dissipating and stuff, and the sun starts to come out. It looks like a fairly normal day, but it's really light as far as traffic outside. There's just not a lot of people out. Strange. There's people walking. It's just they seem to be noticing it too. In fact, the deputy comes in. He comes into the bar, to the tavern. He kind of looks in and says, "Oh, have you seen the sheriff?"
Not since last
Since
night.
yesterday.
I assumed he'd walked home. He might still be sleeping it off. I mean, he only had one pint. So that doesn't make much sense.
Well, he's usually at work by now. All right, I'll go check his house. Thought he might have stopped in for a bit of breakfast.
Let me know.
All right,
Peculiar indeed.
indeed.
So where were we supposed to meet the sheriff? At the inn?
The pub.
The pub?
Brief.
Well, Brand, you hear a on your door,
Oh, come in, come in.
and I assume that your workshop is a bit off the beaten path. So,
Yeah, he likes.
or did you want to like right in Main Street type of situation going on?
No.
All right. So you're a bit off the beaten path, and you get that knock. You open up you invite them in, or you open the door.
No, just shout to open the door.
All right. I'm
Come in.
I'm busy trying to make a special brew here, you know?
It's probably best
So-
that a shop filled with explosive material not be on Main Street.
They don't know what's in those things.
Well, he does.
Yeah. It's a question of whether he tells or not. All right.
You
so,
break it, you
uh,
buy it.
If you break it, everyone explodes. We're all dead.
So you go in, close the door, and well, someone comes in, they close the door, and you hear them coming down the hall, and he says, Mr. Becker, and you see that it is the assistant to the mayor.
Morning.
Mr. Becker, yes. It has come to my attention that last night, he says, coming into the room, the mayor asked for certain potions to be brewed for him to accomplish certain things for himself and his beloved. Perchance, did those get delivered to him last night?
No, I'm still working on the concoction.
Emphasis
See,
on
see,
cock.
see, when I'm thinking about some sort of an oil or a cream because it's just this
I
very
really
specific,
don't need
specific area that
those
needs
specifics.
enhancing.
Yes. I.
Well, if it was a
I'm
cream,
quite
wouldn't he end up with giant hands too?
I'm not going to work on the logistics in my brain on how
See?
you wouldn't get it on your hands while still getting it on the desired area.
See, this is how
We're going to continue.
complicated it can be. This is a very delicate matter.
Yes, I'm well aware of the desired concoction, as you put it, and its purpose. However, the mayor will not be in any kind of condition to receive that for who knows how long. He's not feeling well, and we were inquiring about it discreetly because we didn't want to involve anyone in such a delicate matter. Say, oh, I don't know, perhaps the sheriff or one of his loud-mouthed deputies. I believe you know the one. So, between us, we shall keep this. So would that be agreeable? He says, putting a gold piece on the table.
Just kind of eyes it. No.
He puts 2 more gold pieces on the table.
Not sure why you came here to stack coins on my table, but if you want to purchase something, just go ahead, but I'm not really sure what you're after here.
Non-discretion. I'm looking at discretion and a non-disclosure. Would you be agreeable to this particular situation, of course, not to all things?
No, I'm gonna tell everybody that the mayor wants a penis enlargement salve. Of course, it will be the talk of the town. Oh, great.
It's hilarious.
Oh, he says humorlessly. Well, if that's the case, I must have to file this eviction notice in the town hall. It's too bad.
Whoa.
He starts to reach for his coins again.
Eviction notice? What
Oh
are
yes,
you-
apparently there are some strange materials in this house that no one knows about and are unsure of their purpose. Could be a health hazard to the whole community. It's too bad.
There is
A wonderful
definitely
alchemist.
a lot of items here that people know about. Believe me.
Well, it's too bad we couldn't make this disappear.
I'm gonna make you disappear.
I'll make you disappear.
Are you going murder hobo on this?
If you take my house, I might as well.
He's already got the second half down.
Why don't you come sing a sad song and order a pint from your friendly neighborhood eating king?
Now I'm detecting
he
a
starts-
lot of hostilities from you all of a sudden just because I didn't want to take your coins. Had a bad day, had we?
Yes. You have no idea. You see his eyes are a bit bloodshot.
Well, I wouldn't want to make it worse for you.
Good. Perhaps this isn't necessary after all. I don't even know why we were talking about it. I don't even know why we're here for this little intervention, this little talk that we've had. We'll just take this on. Won't say a word of it. I am quite sure. He starts to leave.
Well, you better.
Let me see some. He peeks back around the corner and says, "What was that, sir?"
Get out of my house!
Watch your step as you exit my building, please. Wouldn't want you to trip, fall.
He says, "Oh no,
Die.
we wouldn't want to," he says as he walks out, and you hear him close the door. Okay. So, not probably 10 minutes later, you hear,
Yes.
Brand,
Yes.
it's Deputy Collins. Have you seen? Can I come in?
Just push down the handle.
Oh, all right. Click. Now, have you seen? Whoa, what you got going on in here? This looks at all your different bits.
Yeah, you
Bits
don't
and
have to
bobs
worry
and
about
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
I'm making dick
probably
trees
not.
with
You're
Bear.
right.
Decoil.
So, all right. So, I'm looking for the sheriff. Have you seen him?
Just kind of looks around. No. He's not here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm kind of gathered that much. All right. Well, I guess I'll just have to keep looking. Oh yeah, he wanted to talk to all y'all that was down by the wagon earlier last night, Miss Tilly and all that. He wanted to get straight what she said. So, if you could pop down to the Dancing Dragon, just meet up there. We've interviewed most everybody else that was feeling up to it today. Everybody's feeling kind of odd, but no worries, I don't suppose. Anyway, I will go find the man. Go find him somewhere, I'm sure. Where'd he go? He just...
When you say odd, what do you mean with odd?
Oh, maybe they're just worn out from yesterday. I don't know, but it's real tired. You know, just he rubs his own back of his neck. He's real tired. Anyway, don't worry about it.
You know what? I had a visitor just recently.
Oh, who was it?
Yeah, the mayor's underling, nobody person.
Ah, Mr. Tight Pants. Yeah,
Yeah, he was awfully rude.
I know, right? And he looks around and he says, "You know what I heard? I heard that he was even rude to the widow lady down the street. I mean, I know the mayor ain't the best, but still, you got to have some respect for the old woman."
Exactly my point. He even threatened to evict
mean-
me.
What? That's ridiculous. I mean, the stuff you got in here is just as safe as mother's milk, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, you should just tell him that yourself. It'll all be settled out. I mean, we all know you got. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody says it, but you know, people talk. And looks around again, and I heard from Miss Mill that Jonathan, her husband, heard Ivan, his co-worker, talking about how he heard a little bit of poof, poof, explosions the other day. I told him that's crazy. I told her that's crazy. It says couldn't be that. But then she told me that another person told her that she did that. She heard some flashing and saw some flashing in here, but that's just you mixing up your magic stuff. So I told him not to worry. Don't you worry about it, he says, patting you on the shoulder. Well, you're just fixture of the community. Don't you worry about it.
Yes, I take great pride in my work and take all the precautions to have a safe work environment and all that.
Mm-hmm. I know you do. Don't you worry about it. And he just turns around and says, "I gotta find that sheriff. Where did he go?" And he starts to open up the door and head out.
Have you tried
Make
his
me a
house?
perception check. Yeah. Buddy already looked over there.
Ooh,
He says,
29.
29. You hear him as he walking along. As he gets past your house, halfway through the next house, he turns to his buddy, his friend that had been following him, a lot younger, probably not yet out of his teens, and he says, "Yeah, I heard he was going to get evicted. Yeah, don't know. Really? Yeah, I heard so. He was going to evict him, and that the mayor's assistant was trying to do it. Yep. That's too bad. It's too bad. I know. I needed to ask him about some medical type stuff.
Enhancement oils.
And so, Deputy Collins continues on, apparently spreading the news of your almost eviction. But you have been informed that you are wanted down at the Dancing Dragon.
Yeah, so he'll
So let me see.
clean up and gets over there eventually.
Okay. So, as everyone's starting to gather at the Dancing Dragon, Gene is getting ready to head out himself to go there, and someone, the other deputy, comes up and says, Father Eric, we need you to accompany me real quick, please."
Yes, what seems to be the matter?
And he looks over at your acolytes and says, "I just rather tell you on the way if that's just the same."
Understood.
All right. So, right this way. He just
Who is
along.
this?
And this is Daniel. He's the other deputy.
So he will join Daniel for his and follow along with them.
Okie dokie. So, it doesn't take you very long to get where you're going because the sheriff's house is not far from you. More, his apartment is not far from you. And maybe a perception check.
Okie dokie. Of course.
All right. Kind of sparse today. People being out. You'd expect a lot of people to be traveling back to their homes and things like that, but no one's really out right now.
Say, Daniel, is it just me or is it seem quiet?
He seems to be pretty focused, and when you say something to him, he goes, yeah. Just kind of acknowledges that you said something more than particularly answering.
All right.
So you guys head on to the sheriff's abode, and as you get in there, he doesn't seem to knock. He just seems to opens the door and goes on in and says, "This way, Father." You see, he opens a door from a stairway that you were on. Apparently, the sheriff lives on the second floor, or he's for some reason in this room on the second floor of a more better off bed and breakfast type setup.
All right. He will follow. Remain quiet.
Okay. You go in, and it is quiet. It's pretty easy to be quiet because it is quiet. In fact, the loudest thing is you and the deputy, walking, and the floor creaking beneath you. The sunlight's coming in, but there's some curtains on the windows that kind of cast it into a more gray light as it comes through the white, and it has an odd feeling to it, an odd sensation to it as it comes through, like it's really trying hard to make it through those what should be easily to penetrate white curtains. As you step into the room fully, you see that the deputy turns to you and he says, please just don't cry out or anything when you see." And he ushers you in. He pulls back a curtain that had been drawn across this area's room as kind of a divider. And in there You see the sheriff, his wife, and their 2 children. And it's like their muscles have just shrunk away. And you know the sheriff. He was a big guy.
Yeah.
He's strong. But he's half or less the man that you remember seeing. He looks emaciated. And you kind of look over him and make me a heal check because he doesn't look alive.
That was the wrong one. I clicked the wrong button. There we go.
Tell me if you're alive. 25 intimidate. 25 heal check. Okay. It is exactly as it looks. He is not alive. He is dead. And it's not just that he's dead. It's like all of his power's gone out of him. It's just drained away, withered up. And you saw him just last night. Just last night, you saw him strong and vibrant.
That's the case. I will pop a detect magic focused on the sheriff.
There doesn't seem to be a heavy magical aura. It seems like, maybe something was there. But it's nothing strong that you can tell.
Now, Daniel, do you know around when this might have happened?
I ain't got no idea. I found him like this. He's just all shriveled up and raisined.
Now, Daniel's the one who's not the big gossip, correct? He's not known for being a gossip.
Stuff around town, he is not known to be a gossip. He is the trusted deputy.
Okay.
So Collins is the one that's the big blabbermouth.
I'm not sure what might have caused this exactly. There seems to be a faint magical aura around the sheriff, but nothing strong that I can pinpoint.
I don't know. I hadn't moved him or anything. He was like this. They lay wherever you found him, and they lay as if they were sleeping. Hasn't done any kind of rights movements or anything. Didn't even close any. He says he didn't even close any eyes. They were already closed.
With that heal check, would I know if there was any poison involved?
You would know if there was some poison involved. Unless it was a really high DC poison, you would know.
Okay.
So Daniel kind of clears his throat and he says, I hate to say it, but we best let him lay. And we need to kind of go down to the Dancing Dragon, make sure we get some understanding of what Grandma Tilly, what Mrs. Mason has said last night.
Read.
Should give her a cat back too.
First, I would like to say.
You'd like to say what? I think I missed it.
I think he's frozen.
Yeah, he dropped out.
Frozen. Okay. Well, we will cut to the point in time where he kind of arrives. Okay. So, Deputy Daniel comes in, and sorry to keep you waiting, sirs. And Sirvzu, it's been kind of an odd morning for you. Usually you have a lot. Your inn was full. Your tavern was full. Every room you had was on. And you haven't had a lot of people come down for lunch for dinner. For breakfast. And the ones that have, they've been really lethargic and tired looking. Like they had a really bad bender. Like, the ones that are coming down didn't have that bad of a bender.
No, he's catching on to it as well. And maybe for lack of having all these people to chat to and serve and do this and do that, he's trying to spend up filling his time by just talking Hitsu's ear off of all the, oh, I tell you what, there's a miasma out there in the air. There's something going on. We got to be ready. I don't know if we'll have to board up the walls or something, but there is something afoot right now. I'll tell you what. None of these people might even be real anymore. I don't even know. And just going out of his mind. He's very concerned about the change of attitude. After all, nothing escapes him.
And it's probably like, what? Really? What?
When I say the code word, we'll start smashing chairs and boarding up the walls, right? All the windows, all the doors.
Is he talking to me?
We'll lower all the money into the well.
All right.
Because I think you're having a breakdown.
You wanted to do something before you left the room, or no?
What?
Because I've cut to where you arrived.
All he wanted to do was say a quick prayer before leaving. Not necessarily perform any rites, but just quick blessing.
Okay. You put you do your little prayers to Sarah and Ray, and head to the bar.
Dancing Dragon.
And the Dancing Dragon. And we come in, he gets there. Didn't move the bodies or anything. All right. Brand also arrives about the same time as actually
and pick up the cat as well.
And pick up the cat. Okay.
Yes.
So you pick up the cat.
Oh, hello, Brian.
Dead cat.
Hello, Gene.
Morning.
You're early. I figured you'd be stuck away in that house of yours.
So was I. But I got called here, and here I am.
Yeah, I heard someone threatens to evict you.
He was driving fast.
Yes, it's quite disturbing, actually. Can you believe it? They would just kick me out.
Oh, I think they can try.
Yeah, damn well they can.
More liable that house go up than they'd take it from you. I had some explosions earlier this week.
You did what?
Down around your end of town, I could have sworn I heard some explosions. Like boom, right?
Probably just someone hitting a carpet.
Well, I suppose it'd have to be a bloody big carpet, though.
So
That's
what is Daniel doing at this point?
He's setting up some chairs around a table and asking everybody to sit down.
I'll stand.
Sirvzu spots the lawman, notices there's no sheriff, and he pours himself a shaky morning pint, and then goes and sits down with the rest.
Hits will also reach over the bar, grab a glass, and pour himself a pint. But when he comes back to the table to take a seat, he turns the chair around and sits on it backwards because he's cool.
Far easier for someone of that size.
What?
It must be far easier for someone of that size. I mean, if you were to sit down normally, I assume that you'd probably bump the table with your knee, spill my beer, and get a...
Gotcha.
All right. So you guys sit him down, and he says, "Okay, I don't know what's happening here today, but I'm gonna lay it down straight for everyone, especially since you all seem to be unaffected at the moment. It appears that there's some strange sickness in the town. And it
Colin.
appears that Miss Tilly and her words have something to do with it. Now, do y'all remember what she said?
Yes. Kinda. Maybe.
I will allow checks. If you guys don't remember what was said, your characters might.
Oh, she was
So
awful.
you guys can make
angry.
She's scared that I
you guys can make you guys can make some intelligence checks.
Well, I don't remember it verbatim, but it was
I was screaming at George.
it was paraphrased. Fuck you, George. Fuck this place. Fuck all of you. I'm out.
I quit.
Something about
You killed my cat. This is the last straw.
something about strawberries.
Would it be wisdom?
I remember the word strawberries distinctly.
Yeah. The red berries. She didn't like
Yeah.
them.
Intelligence. Knock 'em.
Yeah.
Int.
Yeah, just a straight int
nope.
check.
Nope.
You were busy looking at those boys that were playing up on the roof.
Modified fort.
Okay. It's not super difficult. Is that everybody's checks that wants to make
sure.
them?
I'll put one in. 9.
Okay.
Higher in check
All
than
right.
the cleric or the dwarf.
So the 15 was the magic number. And you guys do remember, especially Brand, who was far away but was apparently paying attention. He remembers almost verbatim what it was, and you guys piece it together. And it's she did mention the red fruit has come, and now shall end the delicate life. Burden falls to all, so the burden of sin borne by the whole town type thing. And as you're going over it, you see that the deputy takes his little hat off and rubs his eyes and he shakes his head. What do y'all make of that?
Maybe. Ooh, just maybe. Have you eaten a strawberry recently?
The strawberries
had-
and everything. They put it in everything. The bread. The
Exactly.
water. It's everywhere.
The red fruits.
Can't escape it.
He takes and spits all the strawberry beer out. Go, She-Wolf, no. Why?
I don't think it's the strawberries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So raspberries, or what are we talking about here?
Y'all haven't been in the town long, and I can understand that. But I grew up here, and Milcian ain't had a pretty history in some of its portions. And Miss Tilly and her family have always been kind of eccentric. They're one of the founders of the town, but they kind of a dying breed for them, I guess you'd say. But during those early times, they were pretty influential, and I think there's something going on, especially since when I found the sheriff. I went to go looking for Miss Tilly and I couldn't find her. She ain't at her family house.
All right.
Well,
Bust in the door.
What about everyone else in town? There's been barely anybody out and about.
I know. And what makes it even more upsetting is that this doesn't seem to be passing just by any logic I can see. I mean, how are we supposed to know how it's going? I'm just spitballing here, but I don't know. I've got
figure
some
we
more
either
digging
need
to do.
hunker down or we need to find that Tilly.
Well,
or
I'll
we
tell
could
you what,
south and make it to Ox Rock.
as strange as it might sound for a deputy of the town, that might be something for y'all to do, but I can't do that.
That's fair. Home is home.
Are there
I-
are there others who are sick, maybe in need of healing?
Well, your acolytes went out in town earlier and cast some spells on them to, to help them out, but it didn't seem to change their weakness. They felt better, but it didn't change anything.
Where is the sheriff when you need him? I mean, the mayor.
We could also go dig up the cat.
We haven't buried the cat.
Well, that might be something to do as well then.
Cause Gene's got a cat with him, doesn't he? In that box.
Indeed, I was intending to give it to Miss Tilly.
Certainly smells like cat.
Well, we might need to bury it under her front step. Maybe that's the first go. Or y'all could go do that while I hunker down here and cover everything in salt.
Well, either way, I think we should go see Miss Tilly. We'll try. She was awful piping mad before all of this strangeness started.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What
Make me a perception check, everyone.
26.
Dang. 19.
Gets by me.
Your crazy dwarf eyes.
He's pretty mediocre in everything except super high perception and insanely high sense motive. It's great.
All right. So 19, 10, 26, and 16. So everyone looks around. Gene, you're kind of your back's to the door, so you don't really see it. But they've got the little swinging doors like a saloon might have in the Old West or something like that. And it gets dark outside. It gets dark outside kind of quick, like a cloud passing over the sun. And you can tell that it's definitely that, because there's this kind of line of shadow that goes on those really bright days, there's this line of shadow that just passes. And as that line of shadow passes, Brand catches out of the corner of his eye a shifting of movement, but it doesn't quite grab it. But Ghoulish, but hit and serve. You guys see clearly the form of what would be a human. Like, it's like you're just catching the bit of the shadow of it, and it's like gone. A humanoid figure, and it's darting out of the. It's like someone darted out of the inn and ran down the street when the shadow passed.
Who was that?
Sirvzu hops up onto his
What?
seat, looks at it as it goes, and goes, "What? Why?"
The
Back
door,
down and keeps.
Well, okay,
Daniel
so
looks around.
Hit
Didn't
sees
see
it and thinks it's just like some weird thing, and then Sirvzu sees it and he's like, "That's definitely something," and he's gonna run out after it. He's gonna run out the front door.
Where's he going?
I don't know, but I want to see it. And he runs after him too with the beer.
Okay.
Right out into the street.
Dan gets up, says, "Tally ho, gents," and starts to move out.
I was gonna say, Gene, trusting Serv's eyes, is probably hopping up and heading out there too.
Okay. So you guys
Really
are
gets
running.
his arms going because he has to get the high knees with the dwarf legs.
So You guys are running, and
Running.
when you're watching for it, you can kind of just catch it. You got to be really quick to catch it. But it seems to be trying whatever it is, or whoever it is, seems to be trying to use the shadow that gets cast by the big cloud as a cover. It's moving, it's charting back and forth, and it leads you actually almost out of town towards the wildwood, into a little dip in the valley, and you see down in the valley, down in the little bitty valley, there is Grandma Tilly, and she's walking, and she bends down in front of this tree, and she's just bouncing this little swaddle in her hands, and she's way off. And as you guys you see her set it down, and she's got a hole in front of this bleached out white tree.
Sirvzu's going to try to hide behind a bush on the top of the, wherever on top of the ridge where we poked our heads up and saw her down there. I'm going to keep down real low and maybe see if we can catch her in the act.
Okay.
That'll be a 16 stealth.
Oh, okay. If we're together, that means I have to roll too.
Yep, everybody's there.
For fuck's sakes. Like the third, fourth, 4 I've rolled.
4 hits you.
Okay.
Doesn't blend
11. Hits you as a
Okay.
+7 to stealth.
Gene is not really sure why everyone is hiding at this point.
Because
is
there's
going
some
to-
spooky bullshit going on.
Just get down.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys are about.
I
You
mean,
guys are
if you
about
want to go
300
up to her,
feet
I ain't going to stop you. She trusts you. I'm sure it's perfectly
Okay.
safe.
So, does anyone
Well-
go down to her, or do you guys let her do what she's doing, or what?
Gene is going to try to approach her unless somebody stops him.
Go for it.
Okay.
Sirvzu's not going to stop him,
start
but his
that.
jaw's going to drop.
You start that way. Like I said, she's about 300 feet in front of you.
Oh, she's
And-
way far off. She doesn't see us. I'm going to get closer.
Let's pick up the bush and walk with the bush.
Okay, so you guys get closer than 300 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. How close you
While
want
this
to get?
is going on,
It's enough to see her, what she's doing, ideally.
while he is approaching her, he is going to cast Detect Evil
All right. So,
on Miss Tilly if
you-
he can. It's only 60-foot radius, so it's going to be when he gets closer.
You cast
Okay,
Detect
so
Evil
you
and
got-
you sense it immediately next to you.
You get that going, and she kind of hears you coming, and you see her fear come into her eyes for a second, and then determination as she puts down the swaddle a little rougher than she was handling it. Not rough, but a little rougher than she was handling it. And then you see her put her hand down quickly into the hole, and she comes up, and she's got something in her hands, and she's raising it up, and you hear
Out her to wait.
and she looks at you, and she revs up to go.
She gonna. I don't have a. Is there a rock? Is there like a rock on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
there's a rock on the ground.
I don't actually have any ranged weapons other than improvised weapons.
Okay, so is anybody doing anything? She's raised up.
I got to see the range on
You
this
hear
thing.
her-
Ah!
She's
Oh, holy
she's
shit!
saying she's saying things under her mouth, under her brow.
How close am I?
mouth.
How close am I at this
Well,
point?
that's 60. You're close enough for the 60 foot to ping, and you feel evil.
At this point, he is going to cast Forbid Action and forbid her from moving further for at least. I don't know how long it lasts yet. This is a new spell for me.
Duration is 1 round.
Yep.
Okay. So you got 1 round to cast that. She. So what
hang
we're gonna
on.
do is we're gonna.
Cast time is a standard action. It's 1 round that it lasts.
Okay, standard action. So you cast forbid action. What does she have to? She's rolling a will save, I believe. I would guess.
Yeah, DC 15 will negates.
Ooh. So you see her go. She stops mid sentence. You see her muscles tighten up, and then she goes, "Ugh," and she starts talking again, but under her breath.
Are you gonna tell one of us to stop
That's your
her?
action.
He's yelling at her to stop at this point. He's already done that. So.
Okay. I already rolled this, so I guess I'm gonna take it. 21 to hit her with like a fist-sized rock.
21 to hit her with a fist-sized rock. All right, that hits her. Roll your damage.
9.
9 damage. You see her go fuck on her head. Yeah. You stand up and you whoosh, you wing that, zing that thing. And it smacks her in the head, knocks her over almost knocks her over for a second. Her hands come down and she starts raising it up again.
All right, then Hit's gonna like sprint towards her. And that's gonna be my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was.
Okay.
Are we in turn order now?
I'm keeping track of it.
Okay.
What would Brand like to do?
How far away would he be from her?
He is. You guys got closer. We'll say you guys got 150.
150 feet?
Yeah. You guys didn't specify how close you
That's
wanted
one-
to get,
that's
so I was.
one
Oh
bad
well,
hit.
I was with
One.
Brand not Brand. Sorry, I was with Gene because Gene had to be within 60 to use detect evil.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody was with him. All right. If that is the case, then you are you are at 60 feet.
Give or take.
Yes, give or take.
I guess we'll move up 20 and shoot her.
Okay.
So that's a 14, and it's not versus touch.
Not versus touch.
Yeah, because of
Let me check her.
the extra range.
He's outside the first range increment.
Yep.
You are still able to hit her. So the damage is 8.
It's 7. Yeah, 7.
All right. 7. Okay. She's you shoot at her, and it kind of zings across, and it gets a good clip on her arm, and she's like, "Ah." And she keeps holding it up.
Mystery, I'm gonna have to ask you to cease and desist. And shut that damn cat up.
You do that, and you guys see her arms. She ain't using it right now, but she's keeping on. She's got that. You're close enough to see it is a dagger, a kind of black dagger. You're not sure if it's black because of the earth it was in, or if it's black by itself, or what. But it's got a kind of Chris styled blade, that swiveled blade, and it's raised, looks ceremonial. And let me see, what
Miss
does
You are engaged in an objectively evil act.
what does
Kindly desist at once.
what does Serve want to do?
Well, considering that I'm about 5 turns away in physical walking distance, I'm going to swig that beer. I'm still working on it. It's getting pretty low now, so I'm going to start, keep working on that. And shout at Hits to knock her over the noggin. Just something to contribute. But he's definitely watching with no lack of interest.
Okay. So,
Hollering and hooting, he's no longer stealthing.
so this will see what the sheriff's helper does. Daniel says, basically, yes, Miss Tilly, stop! And he also shoots at her and hits with his hand crossbow. And he goes, and you see it smack into her side. It goes, oh, she just doesn't want to give up.
Burn the witch!
Whose baby is this?
What?
Whose baby is this that she has?
Well, you're not close enough to see.
Oh. I roll baby perception.
Shadows. She swaddled it up. You can roll a perception on your turn. So, you guys actually see her. Hey, breathe. And she doesn't want to give up. She keeps talking, and the blade is in her hand. And she keeps going and starts to glow. And it shifts. And you see glyphs come up in it of a floating red and green kind of color, oscillating back and forth between the colors. And then it's up at the priest's turn.
Okay, so that's about 60 feet away.
You're still 60 feet, yes.
I can run 80.
Okay.
So I don't know how this would work mechanically, but I'm going to try to charge up to her and wrench it out of her hand if possible.
You can do a
Sort of
charge
a tackle
attack.
thing.
You want to tackle her. Okay.
Do you have
So-
30 or 20 movement speed?
I have a base speed of 30, but the speed is 20 because of my encumbrance.
How are you encumbered?
Okay.
I have
What is
heavy
it with you
armor.
and keeping your characters encumbered?
Why do you have a strength of 8 and 60 pounds of full plate on?
Well, you would only
I don't have a
reach
strength of 8,
40
I have a strength of 12.
You would only reach
How
40
are you
feet
encumbered then?
charge.
Really?
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can only double your.
So then what's the difference
wanna
between a
do?
charge and a run?
Run is just movement. And charge
Run is a
an attack.
full round action.
Yeah.
You'd move 3
Right.
times your full base. Or
So-
up to it.
If that's the case, he's going to run and step himself in between her and the child.
Okay. Well, it's right at her feet. I mean, it's right in front of her, so you can step over the child and be over the child and be ready to do something about her hand if you want to.
Don't step on
Yeah.
the child.
That's what
Don't
he'll
step
do then.
on the baby. So you do that, and that means that it is Hit's turn. What does Hit want to do? Babies. What you gonna do, Hit?
Ah, I heard Higgins, and I was like, who the fuck is he talking to?
There's no Higgins. There is no
Higgins! Well, I ended my last turn in a move. Can I get to her in another 30 feet of movement?
You spent how much last time?
I would have been a full move.
30.
Because I took the standard to hurl the rock
That's
at her,
fine.
and then 30 and 30.
Yeah, you can get to her.
Okay.
You
I'm
can
going to
get
move
to her.
all the way up to her, and I'm going to, I guess, try to disarm her. Or grapple her. One or the other. I'm going to go for disarm.
Okay.
What's my CMB? 23.
23.
Yeah.
All right. You definitely beat her CMD, so you are able to disarm her.
Yeah, he latches onto
Swings
her,
it away.
her extended forearm with his big basketball-sized mitts. Pulls
And
the
take the
crisp
bullet.
from her arm. Yes, hand, I should say.
All right. Make me a will save
Oh shit.
to grab the glowing magical dagger, ceremonial dagger.
It seemed like such a good idea at the time. I have a wisdom of 8. But somehow I still have a will save of +5. 19 total.
Okay.
It
This
has
round,
mind like a steel trap.
this time you take 2 psychic damage,
Ow,
and
my
you are
brain.
not thrown. You are not rendered unconscious,
Oh,
but you
Oh, my
feel in your
brain.
mind. Yes, you feel in your mind an affront, an assault, a slam into your brain, and you flash back to what you somehow know is this is Milcian before, and this tree, and then you look up, and as your head's wooning around like this, you look up and you see a noose hanging from the tree over this spot, and you see a man hanging there, and he's got his tongue's large and hanging out like it gets when they hang people, and his eyes bulge, and they're not looking at anything, and then they look at you, and a smile comes over the face, and a laugh that hits your brain, and you see a little girl looking scared up at it, and you see that little girl grow into a woman and into an old woman, and you see her with another little girl showing her the tree, and you see her and her grow up into a woman, and her bring a little girl up to the tree, and you see her show the tree and show the tree. She grows into a woman and grows into old woman Grandma Tilly, who's below you now, and your hand's still on the blade, and you're still holding it, Miss Tilly. And you're back in your mind.
Oh, what the actual fuck?
Brand,
That's right,
you did not
buddy.
experience.
Give it a right working down now. Tell her how to get rid of the miasma. The miasma, boy. The miasma.
He just wants me to feed her rights.
All
I'm
right.
sure it'll say
So,
we de-sickify everybody.
what does Brand want to do?
He'll put an alchemical cartridge in his gun, walk up 20 feet, and just ready as an action to shoot her again if she does anything. And he'll warn, like, "Witch, if you do anything at all that I find despicable, I'll put another bullet in you."
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
Like a half cut, yeah.
Just like a solid 30 feet back behind everyone else, still mostly covered in an uprooted bush. He's like,
Yeah. Ah.
All right.
empty
What
pint
would you
glass
like
in
to
one
do?
hand, other hand like up on his breast, like you know how you do when you're drunk.
What do you want to do, Sirvzu?
Now he's going to finish his drink and lob it in her general direction, and I assume it's going to crash about 10 to 15 feet before her, and then he's going to continue to walk over.
Well, I mean, you can roll if you want to really try to hit her, but if you're not trying,
Just throw
Oh,
it
he's
into the
not
tree.
trying.
Hurl it.
Yeah,
I'll give you
lobbing it.
20 points if you can hurl that pint glass into the hole in that tree.
All right. I'll take that bet. Let's see. That'd probably be dexterity. Ooh, modified 8. I assume that the pint glass just smashes on the tree where you saw the ghastly hanged man. But Sirvzu is just irreverent and, he's a little impetuous right now because he thinks that we've officially won.
all right. So then the sheriff, then the deputy, he comes up, and he had moved forward also, as everybody was moving forward. And he takes the back of his, the butt end of his hand crossbow, and thump, right on her noggin. And she goes, oh, just enough to go, oh, flop. She falls to the
She's dead.
ground.
She's just a wee little lady.
Do you still hold on to the blade?
Well, do you mean like the blade of the knife specifically, or the blade in general?
Do you hold on to the blade in any form or fashion?
Oh, okay. No, just stick it into the ground.
Okay, so it drops to the ground. And you guys look around, and you got Miss Tilly, you got a baby, you got a hole in the ground, you got a ceremonial knife. You just look at each
Whose
other.
baby?
Right?
Whose baby is this? Someone's got to be looking for it.
Who's missing a baby?
Well, I guess we got two questions now.
Well, I don't know who would bring a baby into the dancing dragon in the first place.
Yes.
Are we out of combat now?
We are out of combat.
I was never in it.
You didn't bring anything with you to get in it.
Well, he
Oh, you
apparently has
nabbed me.
a club, but I don't know if he did bring it. He was pretty quick out.
Jean is going to kick the dagger away.
Don't
Then-
touch it. He like planted it blade down into the ground. He didn't just drop it.
Okay.
Or he like threw it hard into the ground. One of the other.
Then do me a favor and guard that blade for me for just a few minutes.
Yay.
Probably
Sure
bring
thing.
it back to your
Miss Tilly, is she dead or dying?
She is unconscious.
She is
got wounds on her.
unconscious.
Yeah, she's been hit by a fucking 3-pound rock and shot 2 times.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure she wasn't like bleeding out or anything.
Perception checks, please, as we start to get something happening.
Ugh. Oh no.
modified 20.
23.
18,
Yeah.
22, 23. All right.
Uh.
What? A -1?
Oh,
Is that
that's
accurate?
that's Uthrin. Sorry, wrong person.
Poor Uthrin. He's a druid that has a -1 to perception.
Oracle.
Oh, an oracle. Okay.
How
I
is
was like,
that
what?
better? Do oracles cast with
That's-
charisma?
yes.
Yeah.
I think they do.
I was gonna say that's even worse.
All of you see the darkening of the sky, of everything continue, like clouds are being pulled to this area. And everyone 15 and above, you all look around, and from behind the tree, you see a shadow come out with nothing attached to it. Have a wide gaping smile that leads to nothing, shows through, and it just dashes back to town.
Uh-oh.
Now we saw that
I think we gotta-
earlier. That was in the tavern. Do you think that's what got the baby?
Back to the tavern. Grab that baby, grab that lady, and let's haul it.
A babe stealing shadow?
You know
Well,
who's got
we're-
rope? Who's got rope?
The shadow
Who's
has
got
dashed
rope?
back. It has
No
made it
rope.
over the crest.
Someone's got rope. Stay behind for a minute. Tie up the old lady, and then come back to town with us. Like we'll all go back to town.
Sirvzu's already going. He's tracking down that shadow. This thing's not escaping on his watch, baby. All right.
Daniel can take the hag.
Is that the shadow laughing,
You
or
hear
you laughing?
coming across. That's the shadow laugh. You hear a laughing across from over the crest.
Can I make it up to the crest and then look down if I see anything?
You can if you wish.
All right. Well, in my chasing of the shadow, once I get to the crest, I'm going to do a big dwarven eagle-eyed look. That's going to be a modified 25.
As you come over the crest, you stop in your tracks. As the darkness that seems to be over this area seems to deepen and congeal around the town. And you see this undulating mass of what you first think is liquid shadow, but you realize are just hundreds, nay, thousands of shadows swarming over the entirety of the town. And you see your friend, you see Bradavarius motioning people to get out, go down the street, get out, as he shines as best he can, throwing shadow after shadow away, slicing at them. But you see them grab and pull and tear, and your friend, though successful in saving some people, falls to a swarm of shadows. And as you watch, about halfway between you and the town is a single shadow, swelling and coming back down as if breathing in the others. And it turns its head strangely to you. You know it turns its head and it just smiles and continues to laugh.
Sirvzu turns around, starts running back to the other guys. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Oh boy. All right, guys. We got to go to Oxrock. There's no town left to save.
What's
What are you
that
talking
supposed
about?
to mean?
There's a lot more than that one. And they're all in the town. They're all over the town, so you can't see the town anymore. It's just shadow. And they saw it. Ooh. This is the most cardio I've gotten in years, I think, is just today. Feels a little bit exciting to do yet. Ooh. Yeah, but we're screwed if we go that way.
Don't get a heart attack, please.
Where's your temple?
Is,
Maybe we can hunker down in your temple. Jane.
because no one has rope, Jean is just going to heal Miss Tilly so we can question her.
Okay,
All right, I'm gonna pick up the baby.
okay.
And I'm gonna
Miss
aim my
Tilly
gun
doesn't
at the
wake
Miss
up.
Tilly.
Do I
Tilly
recognize the
doesn't-
baby?
I'll just do
Doesn't wake up
channel.
right away. Okay.
Not a very
So
large
a
town.
little kind of heavenly light escapes you as you do your channel.
Yeah.
And you go, Miss Tilson.
Miss Tilly. Miss Tilly, snap out of it.
Tried to stop it.
Nah, she's 6 and 7. You're not getting nothing out of her.
What are the shadows?
The shadows. He's the shadow. The shadow of him is left. He has to stop it. Binds him with an innocent life. That's how it works. Let's try to stop him.
Lose the shadow.
Damn it,
Come on,
I knew
give us
this
an
was what was
answer.
happening.
There's got to be another way.
Yes. She opens her eyes at that, and she just looks at you all sad, and she just starts humming to herself. Said you'd come back and we would die.
All right.
What happens to Kelligoth if we leave this here?
She
Wow.
doesn't answer. She kind of just passes back out.
There's like an army of shadows from what?
Okay. Grab that
Sirvzu.
damn knife. Grab that damn baby. And let's all get to the Temple of Saranri, where at least we know it's consecrated.
You're not fleeing?
You see that
Well, I'm fleeing
What?
to the temple, or I'm fleeing to Oxrock. The temple's a lot closer, and I doubt I could run all the way to Oxrock right now.
Daniel has walked up the hill while you guys were talking to her, and he seemed to do it when he heard her start humming, and you hear him go, and he's just looking over the town.
What the hell?
Said you'd
Uh,
come back, we would die. He takes his crossbow.
Oh, great.
Oh, now we can go to Oxrock. No strings attached. No, that's a shame, though. I really like Daniel. That is messed up. This is all going to hell. I kind of wish we'd stayed in the tavern and had boarded up the windows, even though a shadow could probably make it through a crack in the window. To the temple?
Hitz is going to take his scarf off and wrap it around his hand and try to pick up the knife with it.
Okay. You touch the knife. Make me at. You're fine.
Okay.
So you pick it up and you kind of, I guess, wrap it up with itself with a scarf.
Yeah.
You start
don't
to
know
hear
who-
something over the hill.
I want to give it to Gene because in character I trust him, and out of character he has the best will save. I'm assuming. Colin.
Yeah?
Me?
Dropped on. He's handing you the blade.
Well, I don't know what it did to him. I do know he wrapped his hand up before touching it.
Well, I told you not to touch it
You have-
earlier.
Yeah, he
Okay.
said he wrapped the blade up in the scarf.
Oh, the blade was wrapped in the scarf.
Yeah.
Okay, he will take it. He will advise.
With your cry.
We need to shut her
bow
up.
your head down to the- It's
Just
not coming
leave
from
her.
anymore. It's coming from over the hill. Said you'd come back and we would die. I lured her to the mountain. There I
Kane is
took
going to
her
send his
alive.
familiar off to
To the
uh,
mountain.
the nearest town.
Stabbed her with my magic knife. The nearest town?
Aside from our town.
Oh. Okay. That is about
As a with a message. Yeah, I'm well
Oh,
aware that I'm
okay.
not going to be seeing it again.
Okay.
He's using it as basically a carrier pigeon, telling people to prepare for an army of shadows from this town, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to walk up the hill because I
You
gotta see
see-
this.
Okay.
You guys should come with me
As you do that,
for the big cinematic scene. We need the shot on the hill of us looking down on the destroyed town.
Sirvzu's already had a peek. He's just trying not to break off running towards the Temple of Serenity.
The night, the sun should have come back by now. There's this cloud of darkness hanging over Milcian as you come across, and the cloud just stays there. It's not high, but not low, and you don't know why it's there, but you kind of do. And as you look over into the town of Milcian, you indeed see what your friend saw. You see the swarm of shadows undulating around the town. There's no more cries from the people. The ones that made it are going and gone. You see a city filled to its brim with a festival, and all of the extra souls that would mean. All those shadows move through the streets and are making their way towards you along the hills. Slowly, they're in no rush, and they sing to themselves. We hung you by your head, Tom. We hung you by your head, Dom. Thule. You cursed us with your last cry. We had Dom Thule. You said you'd come back and we would die. And then there's this main shadow that they seem to be going towards. And he pipes in and says, "You said that I said that I'd return when the fruits were red like blood and the milk white like her skin came together in a flood." And then they repeat the chorus. And it goes on. And as they slowly make their way to the shadow, he would embrace them and then consume them one at a time, as if gaining form each time, material for himself each time. And this is
So
where we
he
will leave our
Doesn't want to get
adventures.
Tom Dooley.
This is
Yes.
this is how a BBEG is born. This is what we're seeing in here.
Yeah. So some actual adventurers are going to come to have to save us, and they're going to find a pile of bones holding a baby, or us hiding in a church with the baby.
Someone
Well, that
see
would
with
all
the baby.
depend if our NPC / PCs decided to run for the light or not. But
Oy.
we have to see.
Gene is
Run
going
for the
to
light or no.
encourage at least one person to leave with the child.
Wait, is no one carrying? I assumed one of you had grabbed the baby.
Yes, I picked up the kid like
You got the
back
baby.
before I wrapped up the knife.
That's fair.
Someone
All
has
right.
to leave here with the child.
All because we ran over a
So-
damn cat.
Well, does that happen? Does it not? What was she trying to do? What ritual was she doing? Was she helping the shadow? Was she not helping the shadow? It doesn't seem like she was helping the shadow. What
Well,
happened?
She gave us a little piece of it. She was
Something about
trying to
sacrificing an innocent
Yeah.
life.
seal him inside the baby, like she had,
Yeah.
like it appears she had done with the cat.
Yeah, because he sealed him in a cat, and then the cat get killed, so that releases Bad Tom. And oh man, that's fun. That's just some good old fashioned fun.
I want to fight an army of shadows. This sounds interesting as fuck.
Is
I
no
like
one
screaming
leaving
that
with the
it's a bad
child?
idea. It's in the strawberries. Who would
Yeah.
you last use?
We'll have to let the viewers find out about that next time, Colin, because
Ah,
it's
yeah.
time for them to go. because I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a fill-in, and this is what happens when I get to play in my own brain. So
Fantastic.
hopefully we'll get to come to that. Yeah, hopefully we'll get to come back to that occasionally because I was really happy with this one. I actually redid the whole Tom Dooley song for this.
Can you send me
I
the
would've
lyrics
liked
to the
to-
Tom Dooley song so I can have a look at them?
Yeah, it's well, I got it
Yeah.
here. It was like the old North Carolina folk song.
Well, I tell you what, viewers, if you want to see the parody of this song on our YouTube channel, you let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, I'll sing some Carolina folk song.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope everybody had fun along with just this stuff. We had some funny comedic points in it that I wanted to make sure were in there. Wanted to make sure you guys had fun in the town because now there's no more town. So I give it to you just to take it away.
Can't believe like
All right.
you see like a series of shadows, each carrying a little scrap of red velvet tablecloth as they drift off into the massive cloud, and I'm like,
Malcolm, are you?
All right.
I didn't ask. Are you just straight 4 levels of commoner?
no, I'm 2 commoner and 2 rogue.
Oh, okay.
But like the
Okay.
rogue is only based around sense motive, so he's just like a shifty commoner.
All right. Well, the travelers have been with us through this bit of an adventure, this one shot. Head back to their normal lives. I hope they enjoyed as much as you guys did or more. So let's go ahead and tell them goodbye. Or they can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Facebook, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, it is going to be the Planar Crossroads. Twitch, it's going to be the IOPC, and Twitter, it will be the IOPC. So we hope you enjoyed. Check out our actual website at planarcrossroads.com. And as always, we say goodbye, travelers.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.